So I was working on a video about move counters in puzzle games, but I only had like 6 minutes of it. So I was wondering how to add more to this video, and I kind of went overboard. There's now 50 levels in this game, and it starts out normal with move counters and being able to move them. And this is not the video where I'm gonna spoil the whole thing, but I put so many cursed memes in this game, I am not gonna spoil them. I made all of the like code and levels, well, not all levels, 35 of the levels in 2 days. Here's the first level where things start getting cursed, and I am not gonna spoil it. Instead, I'm just gonna do some teasers of some of the later levels. It's insane to me that I had none of the ideas for this game a week ago. No part of it ever existed. And then it's just like, so many ideas are in this game now. On the other hand, the last 15 levels took 3 days to implement, including some freaking bug fixing. And half of them are suggestions from Salve, which is like a funny reversal of roles for what happened in in me and Salve's Lingo collaboration room, where Salve basically implemented all of it while I just suggested puzzles, and basically Suavie did most of the work. There's a lot of garbage code too. There are very minor issues still, but I hope to never touch the code again. It's like, I don't know, 1700 lines, so about 17 times longer than the code for Chess Battle Advanced. And I'm sure I'll do a video covering the whole game and just walking through it at some point. Alright, anyway, enjoy the video, which will be more normal than expected for what I just did to the move counter genre. Anyway, sometimes puzzle games have move counts, which is especially more common in mobile games. Now, it's not all that common, but developers sometimes add it in enough. This is not even a mobile game that I'm showing here. In these types of games, there's also often a star system to rank your lowest move score. And I'm sure that a bunch of levels with stars is very familiar to mobile puzzle game players. To be honest, there really aren't that many move count games coming out, but then sometimes the topic does come up, and I feel like the reasons that they're not great is already like internalized by a lot of devs. There's the stress of wasted moves, meaning you can't do experimentation without watching the counter, and it can devalue the sense of completion of beating a level, like if you get 1 star, 2 star after finishing a tough level. There are some more recent things like Pila Pila, which does have move count medals, but at least for this game, it doesn't count just any player step. It only counts the ones where boxes are actually moved and placed. Well, it does it on place only. So that's a good way to not get punished for just walking around. And some games only show it to you once you've already beaten the level, and it doesn't make any big deal out of this at all. There's no animation for like how many you did, and there's no move count medals or anything. The Massive Fish Fillets 2 does track your moves, but the move count in level counter is thankfully a toggle. Now, there is a community document that goes over similar thoughts, even though I personally also basically would have come up with these, in my opinion, but there is a section here that I probably wouldn't have come up with, so it's only fair to mention that here. These are like categories of types of games where the move counter is actually good. The one that I added was community challenges, but let's get to examples. They're programming optimization games where instead of controlling a character, you create a machine that allows you to basically not deal with the wasted issues, like the wasted moves problem. And at the end of each level, it'll show a graph of how well you did. Some games even have like friends list integration to see how well your friends did. And not all of the metrics involved are analogous to moves. The cycle is usually the most analogous. I used to massively be into programming puzzle game optimization, and it's probably not the most move county example, but it's still kind of adjacent. Helltaker might be the best well-known example for a game where the move count is like the whole game. The move count's on the bottom left, and every level involves it. It's probably been so long since I played this game that I could do a effectively blind playthrough. But these levels are very specifically designed for move count. They even have mechanics that interact with, like when you hit a spike, you take damage. Well, it's themed as damage, but it reducing your move count by 1 is the thing that it does, and it interacts with it in an interesting way. Another game is Pathology, which is basically a block pushing game entirely about move counts, and there's a community all around making these levels as well. It's also nice that when you go back a move, like, notice that the number also goes back. It doesn't, like, pretend to, like, balloon your move count if you're just going backwards. As it turns out, move count by itself is actually not even a bad mechanic, but when it's in other games, it can sometimes detract from that game's main mechanic. Well, this one's main mechanic is just the move count. You can also just make parody games. This one is by the Baba Is You developer, and I covered it on my channel before. I've covered so many from the series. And the joke eventually becomes the move counter actually being a pushable object that can also potentially get in the way, like this 10 that you can't go through, and then the counter can like split apart and then exceed 100. Does a lot of good cursed things with this mechanic. Another one is you make a meme move counter, which was created before Cove Mount. And I swear this was like the first game on my channel that I posted that wasn't Baba. So you can see it actually counts up here, but its behavior changes if they're adjacent numbers. In fact, like if they're not touching, there's no problem here actually. I think the whole idea is to displace them by one. No, here. 55, that's too much. You need to do like specifically this and there. Okay, I was generally gonna play through this entire game again for the video, but this is a problem where it like lags harder the more you play it. Oh, now that I say that, now it doesn't lag? Never mind. No, it's happening again. It's happening again. Why is this happening to me? Now we need a game about FPS counters. Anyway, it's a good game. You should play it. In my high-quality troll puzzle I was telling you about video, I covered Count Mover as well, which is another subversive move count game that I would highly recommend. So there are some community Baba Zoo level packs about lowest moves. Probably the most ambitious one is Optimized Baba. This literally has a move count UI modded into the game. And they've done this actually for the entirety of the game. It's community submitted, so it's very, very unlikely that a single person could 100% optimize Baba because it was like months of multiple people's effort in order to even get it to this state. But it's still a really impressive project. In theory, speedrunning should also have overlap with this, although in practice that may not be the case. There's also games that reverse move counts. I didn't even list this, even though I have a mega series on it. I didn't think it fit, I guess. In this game, you're intentionally trying to make the longest solution for an AI that controls all of the characters. And so this satisfies the same itch as some of those not reverse, but those program optimization games where you have to find a very clever solution and find a very long dungeon design. Now, I did say this wasn't the only game in the category, and that's because, you know, there's games like Pathery. It doesn't have quite as many mechanics, but it's very similar in what it is, and you have to get things in order. That's not really a thing. Well, it's kind of a thing in Veggie Quest, but you need to get things. For some reason, this game has in reverse order. I don't know why it doesn't collect C, then B, then A, but there we go. Wait, it didn't do a good job, so so it didn't tell me to place these walls as high. All right. And of course, they can take it too far. I can place infinite walls in this one. There's also Maze Game, which is a time challenge against another player who's also trying to do this, which is an interesting take on it. Doing this kind of feels like you're freaking playing a reverse tower defense, though. Wait, what am I talking about? There's nothing reverse at all about this. I don't think I'm winning this. Wait, you have a cheese. Wait, never mind. I guess I'm better. Okay. 5 stars, apparently. Anyway, it's time to displace number trackers in Mana Screw Simulator 2024. In conclusion, play my move counter game.